What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and it's Top 10 Thursday. You know, in the world we live in now, it just seems like everybody is so busy. We have to focus on dating, work, and of course watching really bad Final Fantasy movies. But on top of that, there's also millions of great games to play. These experiences seem to get longer and longer each year, so I want to do something special. Let's check out the amazing titles that can be finished in a single sitting on my picks for the top 10 perfect games that are super short. Number 10. Hotline Miami. As you walk into a building surrounded by enemies on all sides, you have a weapon in your hands, but it's shaking with fear. These men aren't strong, but they do outnumber you badly since you're alone. Surviving what happens next depends on planning and reaction speed. Hotline Miami is like a cocaine-filled adventure from the 80s where all that matters is breaking bones and earning high scores. Almost every gangster in sight dies in one hit, and yet they can also kill you that fast. Making it through a level is a combination of memorizing where bad guys are, being gutsy enough to attack first, and a little bit of luck. During this, it's always vital to remember that the second your heart stops, you'll wake up with full health again, so maybe don't worry too much about taking a bullet. Number 9. The STanley Parable. For this entry, I have to be pretty vague to avoid spoiling anything because the story is made of some stellar surprises. That being said, the STanley Parable is a very experimental game that pushes the limits of interactive writing. We play as a bored office employee who hates his job when suddenly he notices that all his coworkers have vanished. Since he's not sure what else to do, we're left to explore the environment and unlock its mysteries. All the while, a happy voice in our head tells us where to walk and what to do in order to move on. Is this commanding narrator a friend, foe, or just a shattered piece of our own mind? That's part of the interesting conundrum of this project, but it also doesn't lean on it too heavily. Wandering through this vacant place makes you question the nature of life and what our role is in this existence. All in all, you could reach the end of the STanley Parable in an hour, but it'll stick in your mind long after the credits roll. Number 8. Gunpoint. Let's sit here for a moment and ponder what it would be like if Spider-Man had become a gritty private detective. Using his jumping skills, he could break into any facility by leaping onto walls and sticking to them, giving him access to higher spots and thus avoiding being seen. That's really how it feels to get around at Gunpoint. The objective in each area is to unlock a door and get inside to steal critical information. Watch out for those guards though, because I heard a rumor that being shot is really painful. Thankfully, you can cling to the ceiling and sneak past them, or if the situation gets nasty, get out your own gun and risk raising an alarm. In between these regular stealth levels are light rooms that you get trapped in. Slipping free requires that you connect laser wires to open passages and escape. Gunpoint is just fantastic due to the fact that it doesn't hold your hand. The designers trust us to figure out our own path, whether it be bloody or sneaky as we choose. Number 7. Superhot. Have you ever watched a movie and seen an assassin somehow beat up 50 enemy soldiers at once and thought, dang, how did he do that? Superhot gives us a one-of-a-kind viewpoint from the center of extremely dangerous firefights like that, but with an added peculiar twist. Time only moves when you move, meaning that as long as you're standing still, reality grinds to a halt. This gives you an opportunity to look around and plan your next strike. Do you grab a plate and smash it over someone's head, unload a shotgun before they're able to react, or just rush your target and snap their neck? You essentially have to train yourself to think of every step so strategically. This may appear to be a shooter, and yet it's really all puzzle fun to its heart. Progressing deeper into the simulation and gaining new talents is cool, but nothing else compares to just the pure excitement of being stuck in a corner and having to cut your way out. Number 6. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Something I've always admired about indie games is that they find new ways to unpack a story. Even if the plot is simple, how we're drawn into it can totally change the flow and emotional impact. Brothers uses our controller in a unique way to make us as the player divide our brain into the two characters. Half of the buttons we use are for the younger one, and half are for the eldest sibling. This applies to the joysticks as well, causing each motion to seem much more mandatory and deliberate, requiring focus, which I loved. The game opens with these tiny characters leaving their house to try and find a doctor for their sick father. As we climb ledges, solve puzzles, and avoid monsters, we can sense these children becoming men. Their quest is not just one of discovery, but also a path that we must walk into adulthood. What's most fascinating about Brothers to me is that it was actually made to be beaten in about 3 hours. You can sit down and absorb their heart-wrenching tale in a night and be changed forever because of it. Number 5. Braid. In the book Extra Lives by Tom Bissell, the director of Braid talks about how no one understood what the point of this project was when he first designed it. While it's clearly a 2D adventure with a neat hand-drawn art style, other than that, the premise is rather confusing. It truly carves out a method of gameplay that's never been done before, challenging you to conquer missions that are elegant in their execution but tough to figure out originally. The hero, Tim, has discovered that he could rewind time, so when his princess is kidnapped, he figures that he's the only person with the abilities to get her back. Every single level of Braid utilizes this world rewinding mechanic differently, so you're never able to fully adapt to it. Some maps you need to unlock a door that disobeys the flow of time, or others will have foes that can't die. There's even one crazy spot where everyone moves backwards except for you, making it like you're stuck in a haunted broken record. You have to bring forward all your best problem-solving skills to accomplish these goals and keep your brain very open, otherwise you'll be unable to see that epic ending. Number 4. Journey. It's typical for legends to begin small and grow as we march through them. For example, take this tiny robed figure waking up on a sandy dune with only one sentence locked in his head. Make it to the light on the mountain and all will be better. Journey is really a flawless name for this project due to the fact that it's a beautiful wordless experience that perfectly encapsulates the feeling of travel. By flipping switches, we progress deeper into this mysterious world. What I truly enjoy about this title more than anything is that it seems like we're being pulled through a scary kid's fairy tale. There are underground tunnels with dark monsters, friends who will randomly show up to help us but can't speak, and an ever-persistent push to go deeper into this rocky land in search of light. Seeing the sand shift beneath our feet or the sun shining down gives off a dreamlike quality that is undeniably marvelous. I've played through this game on several occasions now, but I still get my breath taken away each time because there's just something about that mysterious mountain off in the distance calling my name. Number 3. Octodad, Dadliest Catch. Making a good game funny is incredibly hard. Humor usually requires a strict setup to work properly. That, or I guess it just needs to be purely insane. As you can tell just by watching it, Octodad went with the second option. The only way to explain this project is that basically bad controls are what make it so great to play. This guy is secretly an octopus who's decided to live on land as a human. To make sure that no one figures that out, you better pretend to be as normal as possible. Unfortunately, his arms and legs don't really function in the style ours do. That can lead to some hilariously perplexing situations as you try to accomplish even the most mundane chores. You have to manually move each part of your arms and legs, so if you're on a mission where you have to, I don't know, like mow the lawn, you can guess how smoothly that'll go. Applying force to this grass cutting machine is a combination of several different muscles in your limbs, which can go totally wild if you're not careful. Octodad is a title that I honestly love to make friends who don't play video games try. There's a chaos to this that is absolutely excellent, and really, the worse you are at it, the more fun it is. Number 2. Portal. If you want to make it through life, there's probably going to be some years where you have to work a job you hate. This could be mopping floors, flipping burgers, or solving physics puzzles while a psychopathic robot yells at you. Maybe that last one doesn't happen super often, but for Chell, that's the bad day she just found herself in. We're given a gun that shoots portals, an entrance and an exit, and with this solo tool, we must outwit the diabolical cyborg who's holding us captive. This game is sectioned off into a series of large expansive spaces that have many different solutions hidden within them. If there's a long gap you need to cross, perhaps the answer is to put a portal on the ceiling and then an entrance next to you so you can teleport across the divide. Say of a box that should press a pressure plate beyond your reach. Well, with some clever problem solving, you can drop a few portals and be in the next zone in no time. By itself, the gameplay in this title is extraordinary, but it's even better because of the writing. Having the evil trash-talking overlord GLaDOS taunt your victories and offer you cake to keep you motivated turns this into an experience that is impossible to forget. Number 1. Limbo. At this point, I think you're catching on to the fact that I really respect a game that manages to tell a solid story without words, which is rather strange because my favorite genre of gaming overall is RPGs. In many religions, there's a concept called Limbo, a universe that's not quite heaven or hell. Instead, it's just an outside place, another reality. There are theories as to what that would look like, but this game tackles its own version. We wander through landscapes made entirely of black and white structures. The only sparks of brightness we get in this sea of darkness is our hero's eyes. We must run, jump, and swing through these cryptic woods, all while seeing unspeakable horrors. Being chased by a giant spider and having spears thrown at you by what seems to be ghost children is chilling to say the least, but it also helps you understand that we don't belong here. Our nameless protagonist is not one of these shadowy creatures, and yet he's cursed to exist in their territory. There's a perfect sense of dreamlike waviness to each chapter of this title that makes it easily one of the most awesome indie games ever made, and for that reason, I awarded this my pick as the best game that's super short. Did your favorite quick experience not make the list? Got an idea for a future top 10? Leave it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Oh my gosh, I beat all 10 of these games completely in 1 week. Do you know what it's like to beat 10 games in 7 days? That was crazy. Man, woo! I love my freaking job. Alright, time to go play some games. Oh, hi. I'm just working on the next video. If you want to see what it is, go ahead and click this button and you can subscribe. Also, if you click these video links, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. Now I'm just going to sit here for a minute and wait for you to subscribe. Oh, I guess I could put on these giant glasses. I literally found these on a roller coaster.